Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. In this video, you will learn the ninth principle of project management, which is all about complexity. How do you navigate complexity? By the way, there are a total of 12 principles of project management. And if you want to go over all the videos that we have done, check out the second link in the description, which will take you to a playlist of all the videos. Also, if you would rather read about this topic than watching a video, then check out the first link, which will take you to a relevant article on this topic over at our official website, pmclounge.com. It contains tons of articles and videos. Everything's totally free, so definitely check that out. All right, let's talk about navigate complexity. What does this principle say? It says continually evaluate and navigate project complexity so that approaches and plans enable the project team to successfully navigate the project life cycle. I would have definitely worded this differently. They've used the word navigate twice. But, anyways, what they're trying to say is that we should be continuously evaluating and navigating whatever complexity that the project has so that whatever approaches and plans that you have are basically navigated appropriately throughout the life cycle of the project. So let's take an example like we always do and try to understand how does complexity get introduced in a project. So imagine you are developing a website. That is your project, right? And you are doing that for a customer. Let's say the customer is an educational institution or a school. So you are creating a website for a school. Now, at first, you have clear idea of your customer requirements. You need a homepage. This is what the homepage looks like. It should have bright images. It should have interactive buttons. It should have a gallery of school events. It should even have a section for testimonials of the students, right? So as you start building this, you notice several things that make the process more complicated. For example, the interactive buttons that you have, they work perfectly on one device, let's say a computer, but they do not work perfectly on another device, let's say a mobile phone. Now, another thing you noticed is that the gallery, it loads very slowly because there are too many high resolution images. And then when you open the website on different browsers, the website looks totally different. Now, additionally, as you add more features to this homepage, you realize that the various parts of the website start to interact in unexpected ways. Like when a new plugin conflicts with your custom code that you have already written. So this example shows that even a project which looked very straightforward, just the creation of a website for a school, that can also have a lot of complexities. And these kind of complexities is not new if you are a project manager or if you have managed a project in real life, because complexities get introduced all the times, and this is why this principle is so important. The key is to continuously evaluate and adjust your plans. Let's say you need to simplify the features. Let's say you need to optimize the images and not use high resolution images. You will have to test on multiple browsers. You will have to test on multiple devices. When you do all that, you will ensure that all components of the website work together smoothly. This is how you manage complexity. Now, in this video, in addition to the principle that we just talked about, and we'll go in more details about this principle, we will also cover the nature of complexity. We will also cover the sources of complexity. We will cover some strategies for navigating complexity and how to manage complexity. So I just wanted to make that clear so that you're aware of what's coming in the video. All right, let's talk more about complexity. Now, in project management, complexity is not merely about a high number of tasks. It's about the intricate interplay, as we saw in that example. And this interplay could be of human attitudes, dynamic system relationships, and the inherent uncertainties of any project environment. This mix creates challenges that are not easily controlled but must be acknowledged and managed. So basically, complexity is going to arise from human behavior, system interactions, uncertainty, and ambiguity, which is something that you will have to acknowledge and manage. Secondly, it can emerge at any point during a project, and it can impact value, scope, communication, stakeholders, risk, and even technological innovation. And when we say it, we are talking about the complexity, of course. Bottom line is that complexity is not static. It can surface unexpectedly due to various events or conditions. Whether it's a sudden change in technology or evolving stakeholder expectations, these factors can disrupt even the best laid plans, affecting every aspect of the project from value creation to risk management. Project teams must remain vigilant to identify and manage elements of complexity because complexity can creep in at any stage, right? That's what we talked about. It is crucial for teams to continuously monitor the project environment, recognize early signs of complexity. It is going to allow teams to adapt their plans and processes, thereby minimizing negative impacts and maintaining control over project outcomes. Here's a reminder, 50 days is all it takes. Grab our free 7-week PMP study plan. Check out the link in the description. It's totally free. All right, let's talk about the nature of complexity. Now, every project consists of multiple interconnected components: people, process, technology, and perhaps more. The more interactions there are among these elements, the higher the potential for complexity. As each connection, let's say a connection between process and technology, a connection between process and people, each of these connections can introduce additional variables that influence the outcome, which is why a project obviously is a system of interacting elements, and the degree of complexity depends on the nature and the number of interactions. Complexity emerges from interactions within the project and with external systems and environments. And when we say external factors, it can include market conditions, regulatory environments, stakeholder dynamics. All of these contribute to the overall complexity. Understanding this interconnectedness is essential for managing the broad range of influences that can affect a project. Now, complexity, although cannot be completely controlled, project teams can adjust their activities to mitigate its impacts. What does this mean? So, obviously, it is impossible to eliminate all complexity, right? But teams can still modify their methods, they can refine their processes, and they can leverage the experience of everyone working on the project to reduce the adverse effects of complexity. This proactive adjustment is key to navigating challenges and maintaining the overall momentum of the project. All right, so now that we know the nature of complexity, let's move over to the sources of complexity. And there are four sources that we are going to be talking about. The first one is technological innovation. While innovation drives progress, new technologies can also introduce disruptions. The uncertainty about how new tools or processes will function in practice contributes to the overall complexity, particularly when these innovations are not fully understood or they are not fully defined. Second is human behavior. Complexity often originates from the way people interact, and projects are full of people, right? Differences in attitudes, personal agendas, and even cultural norms can lead to conflicting expectations and communication challenges, which obviously add layers of complexity to project management. Number three is uncertainty and ambiguity. Now, if there is one thing that I can say about every single project out there, and it is going to be true, it is ambiguity and uncertainty. Projects are full of ambiguity and uncertainty. And this is why you will see unknown factors and ambiguous situations which add up to the overall complexity of the project. This uncertainty can make it hard to define probabilities or impacts. It can complicate decision making. It can obviously make risk management much more difficult. And finally, let's talk about system behavior. The dynamic interdependencies within a project can produce complex outcomes. We took an example of the development of a website and we saw how system behavior had created complexity. Like the website was not working on one device, but it was working on another device. This is system behavior, right? As an example, integrating various technology systems can reveal unforeseen risks, which is what it did in the website example. Perhaps there was some interdependency between the device and the website. When we integrated various technology systems like different devices, we saw issues. And this is basically interconnected issues that are difficult to predict. And it makes system behavior a significant source of complexity. Let's also talk about strategies for navigating complexity. First up, you need to apply systems thinking. Project teams can gain a holistic view of how various elements interact if they apply system thinking. It can also help them to identify sources of complexity early on in the project. Drawing on past experiences and lessons learned further equips teams to anticipate potential challenges. So, when we say continuously evaluate project elements and interactions using systems thinking and past experience, this is what we are talking about. Next, modify approaches and plans to address emerging complexity. Recognizing that complexity is an evolving factor, teams should remain flexible, adapting processes, relocating resources, or even revising project scope as new complexities emerge is essential for maintaining control and ensuring project success. Finally, we should be using methods such as experimentation, continuous learning, and stakeholder feedback to adopt processes. Proactive strategies, including pilot tests, iterative improvements, and open communication channels with stakeholders, allow teams to refine their approaches continually. This feedback loop is crucial for managing complexity effectively and ensuring that the project remains on track despite uncertainties. Now, let's talk about managing complexity. Early identification of complexity reduces its impact on the project. When project teams remain alert to emerging complexities, they can take corrective actions before these issues escalate. Early detection allows for timely adjustments, minimizing disruptions and safeguarding the project's objectives. Now, in our example, imagine if someone had already worked on the creation of a website for school or for any other website for that matter. They might have been aware that issues might arise when you look up the website on different devices, computer and mobile, right? So this is something which would help in early identification. Continual monitoring and adaptation are essential throughout the project lifecycle. As we talked about this earlier, complexity is not static, it is going to evolve over time. So, ongoing assessment of both internal and external factors ensure that the project remains responsive to change, thereby preserving the integrity of the project plan. Finally, a vigilant approach helps maintain effective project delivery amidst unforeseen challenges. And this point is all about staying proactive and adaptable. By doing so, project teams can navigate the inevitable challenges that complexity brings. This vigilance is key to sustaining momentum and achieving successful project outcomes despite the unpredictable nature of complex environments. So, I hope you were able to understand how to navigate complexity, where complexities come from, and what you should be doing as a project manager. If you like our work, consider contributing by heading over to pmslounge.com/contribute. Like, share, subscribe, and definitely keep learning by checking our other videos out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.